Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we are back finally for the return of F1 23 My Team career, well not the My Team actually, I'm already botching, the Alfa Romeo Road to Glory series. We are back for round 19 for the Austin, or the United States Grand Prix, for the second of 3 US Grand Prix, Vegas later in the season. But obviously the return is back finally. Just of course, I will make, you guys hopefully have saw the video before about why I left, but I'm going to try to get back on the grind here and try to post everything I can to get back on track. But as you remember in the last video at Qatar, which was actually uploaded, that was supposed to be the last upload before what happened, we actually had a failure on the ICE, so that has been resolved, and that has been the issue. But we are running a special helmet for the US Grand Prix. It is the 4th of July helmet, which is just the American flag. So that is a great kind of gesture, well, just a great thing to represent the home Grand Prix. Obviously, Ted lucky enough to have 3 races in the US, but the second of 3, Texas, probably one of the more better ones, because I'm a big fan of the permanent tracks over the street circuits. I've always been that guy that's always on the street circuits, so yeah. But here we are loading into practice 1. Practice 1 is done and dusted. P12 right now, nothing really crazy going on. The car's actually not that bad. Pace is pretty strong around here. It's a little bit antsy in the first sector, just a little bit of lacking, a little bit of downforce, especially at the front end. But overall, it is not bad at all. Valtteri up there in P7, so good for him. But overall, it could be a very close weekend between the whole field, basically, between Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren. It's going to be close no matter what, but we'll try to see what we can do and find the most that we can do. So we're going to load into qualifying. We're going to see what we can do here. It is also a sprint race weekend too, so you got to keep in mind, Friday qualifying, going to be tough, but we're going to have some fun. Let's go give it a shot at quali. So here we are, ready for qualifying here for the United States Grand Prix on a Friday. Still on the old format, as well, not expected, but old format here. It's going to be a tricky one today too, mainly because I'm not a big fan of the sprint weekends, mainly in general, because it's always a bit difficult to find the right balance on the car. But this setup is a brand new setup actually I'm running compared to all the previous setups, so it should be a good one. I'm not 100% sure though, but we're going to try our best to make the most out of it. So already right there, good first sector, good middle sector. Wasn't anything phenomenal in the middle sector, but we'll see what we can do in the last sector. The last sector is actually really strong for this car. Running out a little bit wide there, missed the apex. Obviously, still struggling to get used to the setup. A lot of understeer as we go through there, but now approaching the last corner here. Flat to the floor. See what the lap time is. It is a 133.7. So that actually puts us up in a P3 and 6/10 down from Hamilton. So I thought it'd be a little bit closer than expected, but it's not, as you can tell. So I'm kind of shocked by it, but at the same time, I guess I'm not shocked, because I feel like I should understand the point of this car. So here we go for the first lap. For the last lap, actually, we actually are now P8 now, so we dropped down just a little bit of places, but it's okay. We're gonna go get another go. As here we go down to Terminal 1. It's very blind to see the apex. I'm still kind of learning this track, which is kind of weird because I've raced it before multiple times, and I still feel like I am clueless when I come here. And it's mainly Terminal 1 with the apex as we go into the center S's now. Very key, basically flat out right through here, a little bit off the gas, a little bit wide, and lost the car there at the exit, and that's unfortunately going to be that done and dusted. So no improvement on that time. So we're just going to save the car, save the engine. Well, not really save the car. We're just going to save the tires. Try to use them up into Q2 and see if we can get into Q3. So we'll back off here and then we'll see if we'll make it. I'm pretty sure we should be able to make it. As yes, I don't think we made it. Let's go find out here. Valtteri's up there in P11. Oh, we just made it, and actually, that's actually not bad. We actually made it by a good 6/10, but obviously we are taking a grid penalty for this weekend, only for 5 places due to the new ICE. But DeFries is out, Sargent's out, Hulkenberg, Sonoda, and Albon. So both Williams, both AlphaTauri, and 1 Haas. So that's a bit unfortunate, but hey, I am personally happy with that. We are into Q3, Q2 actually. My apologies. So let's go give it another run here into Q2 once again. Made a little bit of adjustment on the setup. Just kind of gave myself more front downforce just so I can get a little bit better rotation, because the rotation wasn't really that great. But as you can see, our first lap here, this is that was a used set, only up into P14. So used sets aren't really preferred, but I do like to use at least one used set, seeing what we can do, because you never know what we can maximize on a used set. So a couple guys out here for the next lap, and we actually got ahead of the queue. Thankfully, I don't like being in the middle of the pack when it's the queue because it's very painful, but here we are, already a 10th up in the first sector. A little bit better rotation in the first sector, but is now head down into the center S as we go. Very crucial to get this right here, mainly because you want to take as much. I try to take as much curb as I can. I don't want to cut the corners, but I try to take as much curb. Already 5/10 up though. As you can see, that new set is obviously coming into key here. Obviously, the old set was very used. Wasn't used by too much, but still you can maximize all the lap time you can. So here we go, down the hill, break at the 100-meter board. Try to take a little bit of curb here. Miss the apex just a little bit. I wish I'd take a little bit more gap there once again. Use up all the exit. 8/10 up. I was almost a second up as we head down into the long back straight to see what is next, heading down into the heavy braking zone here, into the most difficult complex of this track. And it's mainly just trying to... You want to get on the throttle so quickly through this part, but it's always difficult. So actually a purple Sector 2, so that's a personal best, but also that is the fastest Sector 2 time. So Sector 2 actually this time around was actually really good as we head into the next corner. This corner I've always been struggling with during the whole weekend, but got a little bit of time there. As you can see, I already found a 10th, maybe 2/10 possibly up in there. Flat out all the way. Use the outside just a little bit, use that race line, then head down, braking zone right here, don't miss the apex. We actually got into that apex perfectly fine. Didn't use much of that curb, but we're using a little bit of curb here once again, heading down to the next braking zone, and now across the straight. This should put us into Q3, and we actually go fastest, a 132.8, so that is a great lap, but that's also a good lap to see on what's next for pole position, and just got Hamilton by 3/1000ths of a second. Not Hamilton, Lando Norris, my apologies. So McLaren's pretty quick around here, Ferrari's pretty quick, Mercedes pretty quick, Gasly's pretty quick in that Alpine, but sad news is Valtteri's out in the Alfa Romeo. Not ideal, Valtteri. Valtteri's been having a little bit of some issues in qualifying though lately, so hopefully he can change that around, but obviously it is the race that mainly matters. So I feel like we've been kind of carrying Alfa on our shoulders just a little bit, but not too much, but just a little bit here as we head into Q3. Last lap into Q3, only came off for one run. I actually don't use a new used set, mainly because it doesn't really gonna do much. So this is really the last lap that counts, which I could probably start using, but we missed the apex by a minute. Made a little bit of adjustments. Didn't really get us too much, as you can tell here. We'll see where we finish here. It's actually P9, so it wasn't actually a great lap, but overall it is just we have to suck it up and we'll just have to deal with it. So P9 it is for the sprint race. Thankfully, the sprint race, since it's still the old format, we can actually gain some time in here. So about 8/10 off in pole. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, Mercedes front row lockout there, which was kind of a shocker because I thought they were going to be a little bit down this weekend because Ferrari looked like they were clearly the better car, but Red Bull seemed to be kind of nowhere this weekend. Alonso still doing their consistency, obviously, with that fight with Fernando Alonso for P4 in the title. Gonna be very P4 in the Constructors' Championship, so we need to see what Alonso's time was, but we're gonna check on Lando Norris' sectors there and just look at ours. We did one run, so if we probably went out for a second run, we could have done maybe a little bit better. So maybe, but not 100% sure. So, but yeah. So next up, practice 2. Didn't really do much in practice 2. Just kind of got all the resource points as we needed, and that was really it. So overall, I think this car, it's not great this weekend, but it can probably do some wonders for us. I don't know if we're going to be fighting for the points in the sprint race because it looks like it's going to be close between the Alpines this weekend, maybe even the McLarens too, but we possibly could be fighting with the McLarens and Ferraris. Red Bull, I'm not 100% sure if we'll even be fighting with Red Bull, because Red Bull are probably going to go zooming up the grid, because that is just Red Bull things, and then it's just Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez things, I guess, in this game. So yeah, but the AI are they're pretty quick going into this weekend, into practice too. So we're going into the sprint race. So if you did not see actually as well too, it is going to be a wet sprint race, and it's going to rain the entire time. So that's not to my advantage because we are on a dry setup, but we'll make the most out of it as we head into this thing and try to see what we can do. But we are taking a grid penalty though, but we'll find that out after the sprint race. So let's go have some fun, and let's go see what we can capitalize in the sprint race, hopefully to get some points.
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Norris, Cowboy, Gasly, Oscar Piastri, Ocon, Bottas, Stroll, Magnussen, Albon, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So here we are on the grid for the United States Grand Prix, mainly the sprint race here. First of two races this weekend. It's going to be a damp one. Rain is the main factor for Saturday night, for Saturday afternoon. So not 100% sure on how we're going to do. But we are going to make the most out of it this weekend. It is coming down to nearly the end of the sprint races. And this is the second to last one before we head into the last one, which is Brazil. So, yeah, two back-to-back sprint races, too, this weekend, actually, after Qatar. So, yeah, we're going to go all the way to the end of the inters. It's supposed to dry up near the end of the race. How is it going to be? I'm not 100% sure, but here we go. The 5 red lights underway for the United States Grand Prix for the sprint race. And lights out and away we go for the main race. So good start by George Russell. We actually got a decent start actually back there as well. Got Piastri a little bit off the line there. Bottas back there as well. He's going to try to make some moves. We go down on the inside already. And on the big red corner. Russell ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton's got the inside line now. As we make a little bit of a difficult there. There's a little bit of a snap there on the exit of some oversteer. As we head down into the bottom of the hill. Nearly made some contact with a big slide right there. Almost made contact with Lando Norris out into the center as we go. Hamilton looks like is ahead of George Russell. Actually, that is George Russell ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc third. We move into 8th place, and we are ahead of Lando Norris. So we got Norris off the line just a little bit there. And next up, it is Sergio Perez now. And then we go down the inside, actually, on. That's actually Verstappen, not Perez. We go down the inside. A little bit of contact, though, with Verstappen. Maybe some floor damage. I'm not 100% sure, though, but the car looks fine on his side. We'll see what happens there, but we let a little bit in the inside. It was a little bit of a dirty move, so we're going to let Verstappen go right back around us, mainly because it is just the better safe to do. And I am the steward as well, so I make the decisions as I go, so I'm going to let that position back. Just to make it fair, just a little bit of a big send there. Just couldn't get the car stopped, I guess you could say. But here we go into the last corner here. You can just see how struggling I am already in the wet. It's been a while since I've raced in the wet, but here we go. Lap 2, we actually are ahead of Lando Norris, but Norris is going to absolutely not give this up without a fight. He's either going to possibly go down the inside. Yes, he does. A big send down the inside by Norris, heading out into Big Red. Maybe locked out the brakes there a little bit. Looks like he overshot the corner just a little bit, but it's okay. We're going to fight back on Lando Norris, and it just had almost made some contact with the wheel of Lando, but we are thankfully going to back out of that, and now we are sitting P9, so nowhere near points. But the guy behind us, though, Valtteri Bottas, he's behind us, but I don't know if I want to lose to Valtteri because, well, you always try to beat your teammate, I guess, in these races, and that's always the #1 goal. But anyways, going down into the next couple of corners onto lap number 2. As you can see, we're kind of falling way behind Lando Norris. Maybe I'm just not confident in the wet. This setup is kind of all over the place, which is kind of sad because, you know, I stride a little bit in the wet, not too much, but I do stride just a good amount in the wet, thankfully. But as we go down, George Russell, the race leader, actually has a problem, though, a rear right puncture, and that is absolutely heartbreaking for George Russell because that is heartbreaking. Oh my God, George Russell with a puncture. He was just leading this race too and everything, and that is absolute a disaster for Mercedes already this weekend, which probably, as you could say, arguably one of Mercedes' best tracks. It is Coda, but looks like it is not going to come into that today. But lap 5 now, losing a lot of time to Norris. don't really have much to pace. Valtteri is kind of sticking with us, which is kind of good, I guess, for him. But me personally, I'm trying to pull away from Valtteri, but I can't pull away, as you can tell. So I could let him go, but we are holding on to P8, which is 1 point. 1 point is, I don't care if it's 1 point or not. 1 point is a point, and that's all that matters, I guess. But trying to defend a little bit. You see, we got a little bit squirrely there on the exit. Maybe just took a little bit too much on the curb. But George Russell actually setting the fast lap of the race, mainly because new fresh tires and also dead last. But the rain has stopped. It is now just damp conditions, so the track should get drier and drier, but there's really no point in pitting for the dries. And I'm probably not going to pit for the dry tires because no matter what, if we even pit for the dries, it kind of won't really matter because we probably won't even, we'll have to chug up all the way up into 8th place, but also, you know, we don't know on how the AI is. Well, I know how the AI is. They're a little bit quick, and also there's just no point. So, and plus we're heading onto a points position, so it's not like we're like dead last, thankfully, but we're holding on into points as we head into P8 now. Gapped a little bit of Valtteri, just a little bit, not too much, but we did gap Valtteri just a little bit, which is good. 1.4, now 1.7, almost 2 seconds away from him, but almost 5 seconds behind Lando Norris. So Norris is absolutely chugging in some good lap times now. Verstappen also clearly ahead by 8 seconds. So Norris and Verstappen a big gap, but also the main thing in this championship is Aston Martin, which is mainly Fernando Alonso. You know, he is retiring, but it is also crucial because we cannot let Aston score any more points. We do have a yellow flag, though, up ahead. I wonder who that is. That's actually... Is that the other Mercedes? That is. That is Lewis Hamilton. In an absolute disaster for Mercedes. George Russell going out with a puncture. And now Lewis Hamilton is out. And this is horrible for Mercedes. And this has been a disaster sprint race for Mercedes-Benz. And Lewis Hamilton goes out with it. Looks like an engine failure or something that has happened. Maybe, I mean, well, you can't really break the suspension, but maybe a issue that happened to Hamilton's car. Let's take a look, and it is an engine. Oh, my days. Lewis Hamilton, who was ahead by at least a good 2-3 seconds ahead of this gap, and he is not even going to finish the sprint race, and this is not a good look for Mercedes, as a absolute disaster for Hamilton. And that is horrible. And George Russell being down there is unfortunate. But coming across the checker flag, really dried up towards the end. But Charles Leclerc is going to win the sprint race ahead of Perez and ahead of Sainz. And also the rest of the gap. Alonso is going to come home in P4. Which I'm not I'm not happy about that, because that is as much, that is 4 points after all. That is 5 or 4 points after all. It's not a big gap, but still it's kind of unfortunate. We are going to score 2 points though. But as you can see, these tires are so worn out. Sainz and Verstappen actually did get the fast lap, thankfully, but we ran out a little bit wide there. Maybe just losing a little bit. I think we had some front wing damage. Kind of unfortunate. We're going to come across, check a flag there. We are going to finish P7 though. I will take that. Good amount of points. I'll take it.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So, what a sprint race. Wasn't bad, but could have been better. Just very inconsistent, I guess you could say, on my side. And also the track drying up. Maybe it was just a little bit too late. But there it is. Alonso, 5 points. And we are, fortunately, only got 2 points. But the grid penalty is going to come into effect tomorrow. So that should drop us down into P12 or P13. It could be P13 the latest. So it's going to be a big challenge. So here we are. 81 points. Still with a fight with Lando Norris, thankfully. But also, you could say Valtteri is still in this fight. But there is the standings as we're trying to catch up into Aston Martin's territory. But because that fight is still on, but same with McLaren as well.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself, 14 miles southeast of the city centre, has been home to the US Grand Prix since 2012, the latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. It's the Circuit of the Americas then, situated 14 miles outside of the great city of Austin. This is a 3.6 mile lap with 20 corners, 10 to the left and 10 to the right, and top speeds of around 200 miles per hour. Overtaking opportunities are available into turns 1 and 12, especially with that rear wing DRS wide open. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Norris, Bottas, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Gasly, Cowboy, Sainz, Albon, Tsunoda, Hulkenberg, Russell, Sargent, Magnussen, De Vries, and Lewis Hamilton rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And joining me again for the race today, Natalie Pinkham. Let's talk about Cowboy. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within the team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do. And that has definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
So here we are into the main Grand Prix for the weekend, Sunday afternoon around Texas. It's going to be fun, but there's the strategy. It looks like they want to start on the soft and then go to the medium, and it looks like we are going to do the soft strategy. A couple guys on the mediums. Looks like McLaren's going for a medium here. That's Piastri, and well, it looks like only Piastri might go to the mediums, and maybe a couple other guys. So soft, it looks like it is going to be is for me. So we'll go to the soft, and we'll see what we can do here. But here we go. The 5 red lights now underway for race number 2, aka the actual main event. Lights out, and away we go. Here we go. Good start by Verstappen, and that's actually Perez. My apologies. Good start by Perez. Leclerc gets absolutely stormed. Valtteri gets up the grid as well, and we're going to go round the outside of the McLaren and the Alpine. 3 and 1, does that going to work out? It does work out, and we're going to get ahead of Piastri and Ocon as we head down into the center as we go. Behind Verstappen and behind Alonso, Bottas with a great start as well, which is great to hear because Valtteri needed this start as much as he can because this is crucial for Valtteri in the championship. A little bit down the inside though, Piastri maybe thought about the inside look, couldn't get it. A little bit of oversteer on that exit. And that is kind of going to be a common theme around here, I guess you could say, is because the oversteer is not really that great in this car. And also, I mean, the understeer is absolutely horrible in this car as well. So here we go, down. We're going to dump a little bit of some battery here, mainly because we want to see what we can achieve here. As you can see, it is now a straight line speed to see who's going to get ahead of Verstappen. We are in the slipstream, but here goes Alonso on. It looks like that is Valtteri Bottas. That is going to be on Bottas. So side by side, Valtteri better make that fight with Alonso. But Alonso going to go around the outside of him, and he's going to get ahead of Valtteri Bottas. And that is not what I want to hear because Bottas needs to fight this as much as he can. Valtteri, remember, you're in the top car now. You're in basically a good car. So you got to bring back your 2019 Mercedes days and your Mercedes days where you're running the front. So hopefully you can do that there once again. But as you can see, it's a bit difficult though, just a little bit to follow some of the guys behind us. And Verstappen, following Verstappen, it's a little bit difficult. Dirty air is not great. And I think following cars in this game are not really even ideal either, and I'm not a big fan of it. But it's okay, just a little bit some tweaks, a little bit though. But here we go, dumping some overtake though. We might have an inside shot on Verstappen. Yes, we go down the inside of Max Verstappen. He opens up the door, thankfully gave us just enough space, and we're gonna get ahead. What a move up into P6 now. Next up, it is Valtteri. You see what is next and who's up next on our target. So in the center as we go, Valtteri ahead. And he's losing a lot of time from Alonso, so Valtteri doesn't have really the pace. We have the pace, though. Thankfully, just enough pace. But I think what we're going to do is what we've also been doing is we're going to stay behind. But you can see already a big gap ahead of the top 8. And mainly because there is the top 10, 11 cars, something like that. We're ahead actually of Verstappen and Piastri. But as we head down into lap number 4, it looks like it is a big lead ahead for Sergio Perez. He is ahead of that pack with Lando Norris up there in second. But some nice onboard shots, though, as we head down into turn number 1, a.k.a. Big Red. As you can see right now is actually... Oh! Someone spun it! And Lando Norris has binned it! Norris, what has happened to Lando Norris? Let's go back and look real quick. Norris, what in the hell happened? Norris, and he just floored it. He floored it. He binned it. He binned it. As we actually snuck past the whole group. And those reaction times are crucial, but the safety car has came out. That is so unfortunate. And a red flag. So red flag only on lap 4 of this race. What a turn of events that was. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. Lando Norris, you have made everyone happy. Red flag, and that actually is going to help us because we can actually make a pit stop and see what we can do. But personally, I think we're going to go to maybe the hards. Might extend all the way. Nope, not doing that. So we're going to go to the mediums, and we're going to go to the end on the hard. So looks like we're going to pit lap 17, so we'll have 11 laps on the hard tire. But maybe we could swap them around, maybe go for the soft. But it's going to be a massive stint on the soft, which is going to be about, well, not massive. It's going to be 12 laps on the soft, but we're going to do 12 on the mediums. The DAG is pretty high around here, or the tire wear is pretty high. So, yeah, we'll go to the mediums over here. Go for the race start here. Race start number 2. A lot of guys in the soft, so as you can tell, but here we go. 5 red lights, and we're now underway for the second time in the United States Grand Prix. Perez with a horrible start. We got a big start down on the inside of Sergio Perez. We go down into turn number 1, big red down the inside, making it a little bit wide, a little bit of contact though, and we're gonna get ahead as we need to pull away now. But a little bit of some contact though with Sergio. I guess they claim that we hit him just a little bit, but Sergio fight that back as hard as he could, but he backs out of that, which is probably the smart decision, as 2 into the center S's don't go well. And it's not going to go well. It's very narrow, but not a great start for me personally. I'm just a little bit sliding a little bit off the track. Don't really have much grip on these mediums. I'm just not getting traction, I guess you could say. But let's say we'll just have to power through, I guess you could say. But we actually hit the radio button on accident, and as you can tell, oh, so clueless. As I'm trying to check the vehicle conditions. We do get a word, but here goes Perez. Sergio down on the off the track into the dirty 6-0, but we're still side by side. Not side by side. We're in the slipstream, but we're not gonna get them. We're gonna let Perez go. He's not really our race, but here comes Piastri. A little bit of a send, but doesn't get it. But Perez, not really the race that we need. If we could just try to stay behind him though and stay in that DRS, that's all that matters. But we are in a great position to capitalize today. P2, and we started P11 in this race. P11, I believe. P11. And we are into P2, thankfully due to a red flag, I guess you could say. But what a race to begin with. Already some drama with Lando Norris spinning out, and there could be more to come as we go. But Perez still ahead. Yellow flag, that is okay. I don't know who that is for. That could be someone. That might have been Alonso, actually. Is that Fernando Alonso? That is Fernando Alonso. Alonso's out.
Okay, they're out of this race.
That is gonna help us so much in this championship, as now we're gonna capitalize on Alonso DNFing, and we are in a great position to score a lot more points than Aston this weekend. But we also gotta remember, Lance Stroll's not done yet. Stroll is still in here no matter what, so we do have to keep an eye on Lance Stroll. But oh my god, what a turn of events that was. But here comes Piastri though. He's going to go down on the inside. Bottas now up into P4 on the soft tires. But here we go down the inside into big red we go. Piastri has the inside line. Got a little bit there, but he's going to get ahead. We'll have to let him go though, but it's okay because it is still not over with this fight. I know we can easily get that back on him, so that is what we're going to do no matter what. I don't care what anyone says. I'm getting back. I'm getting my revenge on this guy again. And Piastri, you remember, say it again, former teammate on F1 22, as you guys remember, in the old My Team save. But anyways, all jokes aside, it is now next for Piastri. Piastri is going to be a bit vulnerable here, maybe a little bit, but he actually got a lot of time on Sergio. I got to remember though, he's on the soft tires, so he might actually have a shot to take the lead here ahead of Sergio Perez. DRS now enabled, and we are in the slipstream, and we are not gaining as much as we can, but Piastri's not gaining really much time as well. But let's say we're just going to get behind here and lift and coast behind him. But just a little bit close there. We got a little bit too close to the back of Piastri's car. Maybe almost touched that diffuser there, but we do thankfully kind of get that. But here comes Piastri. Is he going to send one? No, he's not. he lets that go ultimately now on lap 9 of this race. And a little bit of a snap there once again. There's always these little snaps, but Piastri's going to have a great run on Sergio Perez here. But that Red Bull's got some great shit on speed, but here comes Piastri, and here comes us. It's gonna be 3 into the next corner here. 3 and doesn't work. We have the inside line, and we're gonna get a 2 and 1 as we take the lead back of the United States Grand Prix, and Piastri got right back ahead of Perez as well. Got so much more, and he was able to get on the throttle so much easier on those soft tires. But now we have to try to gap Piastri. I don't even know if we're even going to gap Piastri here. Piastri is going to give us a fight for our life. But here comes Piastri, though. Look at that straight line speed in that McLaren. He's going to set one here. Here he goes down on the inside into the heavy braking zone. We'll let him have it. We'll just let him have it. McLaren is going to be a tough task to fight today. McLaren, they have brought us some great fights. They have brought us some great fights this season, and I cannot say that I am a bit annoyed at the McLaren sometimes, but it is okay. I love a good challenge. But Piastri, a rookie, is leading 2 rookies basically battling for P1 in 2 phenomenal race cars as of right now. We've built this Alfa Romeo to be a very competitive car. It is not the best car, but it is a very competitive car, and we are running in a great position to capitalize. And Valtteri Bottas, very consistent today, P4, and this is what we need. And he's actually all over the back of Sergio Perez, so it could be a double podium right now for Alfa Romeo. But we are gapping Perez by 1.5, so this is helping us. But during this phase now, Piastri tires are going to start going away. The soft tires are usually going to start dying around this time, and that's usually when this can. But also the tire wear, it is very high. A lot of high speed, so the tires, you know, they're going to wear out a lot due to the high speed sections. But also it's going to wear out my tires. But the deck, it is very high around here. A little bit of some colder temperatures today, it looks like, with the overcast. I believe the track temp was somewhere very low degrees. So that's kind of unfortunate, but it's okay because overcast conditions is usually where we can capitalize the most out of it. But here we go into the DRS of Piastri. We're going to send one. No, we're not. We're going to back out of that. We'll sit behind Piastri, let him go. But here goes Bottas. Valtteri and Perez side by side. It's going to be a fight who's going to get P3. And don't know what's going on back there. But Bottas maybe just got around him, and he did get around him. And that is crucial. But also Perez has fallen like a rock as he was originally leading, and now he's falling off like a rock. But here we go. Lap 13, P2. 19 cars left in this race, but here we go. Got a great run on Piastri. We're going to go down the inside of Oscar Piastri now. Here we go into the heavy braking zone here once again. Down on the inside. Good gap. Good run. What a pass by Oscar Piastri. A little bit wide, though. Piastri's going to fight that back. No, he's not. I thought he was going to sneak one down the inside. Looks like he couldn't get on the throttle a little bit too quickly. He wished he could, but he didn't. So, a bit of an experience for a rookie, even though I'm a rookie at the same time. So, there's that. But we are ahead, and also we have a decent gap of Valtteri. But once again, we run out wide, and it's been a struggle through that corner where we just can't. We've got no rotation, but we get rotation into the last corner, so it's just been a struggle, really, during that whole part of the track. But here comes Piastri, though. He could have another run on us, but we're gonna, as we do, make this car wide, but also dump overtake, because we want to dump the overtake mainly because that is our. That is basically the defense button, but also it's also a very helpful button. But here we go, lap 14 now, heading to the center S as we go. Piastri, it is very close behind us. He is not giving this up without a fight, and I can tell you that much. Piastri is going to fight this as much as he can, and I know how he's going to race me. He will race me hard. Oh, big snap though once again. A little bit off track, just a little bit off track, and Piastri could have a run on us, and he is going to have a run on us. We had to kind of go off track, though, just a little bit, because we didn't want to join unsafely. We wanted to join resafely, so big mistake, and that actually cost us some time, as now Valtteri has closed down that gap just a little bit, as there's a good run. But here we go, down into the next corner. Here comes Piastri, but actually here comes us, so we got a great run, and we're going to get right back around Piastri, and Piastri can't really do much. He hasn't defended that much, but also there was really no point in him defending. But lap 15 now. Is now the next time we fight Piastri, and who's going to get up in front. But Piastri is going to send another one down the inside, and no, he's not. He thought about it. He can't get that done. Oh man, what a what a race that we are having today. It has been phenomenal the CS, and it is between two rookies. But here we go. Valtteri into the pit lane now. He's obviously got a preferred strategy, mainly because he started on the soft, but also it is just the strategy that he is on. So, Valtteri in the pits, Verstappen in the pits, or is that Perez? I think that might be Perez. Perez in the pits, Ferrari's in the pits. Basically, the whole group is in the pits, as you can tell. Not the whole group, but let's take a look. And Lance Stroll, though, keep an eye on Lance Stroll. He's on the hard tire. Aston are cooking. Aston are cooking up a feast right now. Could he go to the end on those softs, on the hard? That is something we'll have to keep a monitor on. So, Stroll, but he's under threat, though, from Lewis Hamilton, thankfully, but that is a good thing to monitor. Piastri came into the pit lane. He tried to undercut us, but we're going to try to see if we can overcut him, which I hope we can, but here we go into the pit lane now. Going to be a crucial stop here for the boys because, well, this stop is going to be needed. So, yeah, Norris in the pit lane, Leclerc in the pit lane, Ocon in the pit lane, Perez in the pit lane as well. So, actually, that was Verstappen that came into the pit lane before. So, we'll see on who's going to take the lead here of this race. And it looks like Lance Stroll is the race leader with Verstappen in P2. And he got a great run. But here we go. Up the hill we go. Side by side between Piastri and Bottas. They're having a fight. We just came out on hard tires, cold hards, but look at these guys. They're on mediums and softs. Piastri aggressive with the soft tire, and he's going all the way to the end. We cut him off just a little bit, but oh my days. Oh, lots of different strategies going on here, and it makes sense. The red flag can make up a different strategy, but Stroll is up here into P2 on the hard, so Stroll is in a great position. But I wonder if he's going to stay out. Will he stay out and go to the end on the hard? But if he does stay out, that is going to be a very hard task to do. You're going to have to, you're basically running 20 laps plus on that hard tire with a 50% race, but also the tire wear with 50% is not great. Stroll could go to the end, though, on those hard tires, so we'll see. We'll monitor that. But if we want to get around him, though, this will help us a lot. But also, we do have a lot of heavy guns behind us, which is Piastri, Russell, Bottas, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris. A lot of heavy guns behind us that can have a shot. But here we go. DRS and overtake. Dumping as much as we can. We're gaining. We go down the inside on Lance Stroll as we make it. Then ran him out just a little bit wide. Not too wide, but ran him out just a little bit. And we did that, so he's under threat from Piastri. Lap 21 now. Still ahead. And we did that to help. Here goes Piastri. And he's side by side in the center. Assist 2 and the S's don't really work that well. He had to back out of that fight. And Stroll with a great defense. Lance Stroll and Sainz is going to put more pressure onto him. But it is going to be a 6-car battle for a podium. Let's take a look at the rest down the field. We got Leclerc. Wow, Leclerc running low down here. I wonder if Leclerc's got damage or something. Damage limitation possibly. Lewis Hamilton, though, as well. I think he's running near the back of that pack as well. So, very crucial to monitor. About lap 23 now, Piastri got ahead of Stroll. And actually, Stroll, I believe, came into the pits. Nope, Stroll is not in the pits, but Stroll is just falling off like a rock. As I said before, Aston are kind of in that boat where they probably thought it was going to work. But, you know, you don't know how good tire wear upgrades are on another car, because no one really knows. But yeah, there's Hamilton running really low down that pack. But we are lap 26 now. We've actually pulled a decent gap, and mainly because Piastri softs fell off harder than Daniel Ricciardo. So yeah, it's been a difficult task for Piastri to try to keep a fight with us, though. But also those soft tires. You know, he pitted lap 18 or 19, and he had to go all the way to the end. Maybe those softs are dying off, but also Russell is going to give him a fight, though. But tires are pretty good, in a good window. Verstappen absolutely fleeced the whole pack. Red Bull have done a IQ and a gamer movement, as they have absolutely smoked this pack. I mean, Verstappen has cleared this gap by 11 seconds. He's cleared me by 11, and we're just running at our own speed right now. We're not really pushing. We're just running our pace, but Russell takes the podium off Piastri just enough, but thankfully Piastri fights that back. Well, actually, that's not thankfully. We actually don't want McLaren to go or score many points as well, but it would be nice to see 2 rookies on the podium. But Russell takes down the inside once again, and he's going to get around us, and he's going to actually not get around us. He's actually going to get around Piastri, though. They could be side by side. Nope, he is just ahead. So now we have to keep an eye on Russell. Russell's flying. Mercedes have been flying this whole weekend, but Russell, he was dead last in the sprint. Finished basically in the back of the pack in the sprint because they have the punctures. So, well, our defense is going to have to come out, and we're going to have to try to make this clean as well. But Russell, oh, try to sneak his nose in there just a little bit. Didn't sneak too much, but thankfully the race has kind of calmed down just a little bit, as now it is time for a defense to basically hold off Russell. That is the goal. We run out a little bit wide, not a little bit too wide, and that's not what I want. As we head on to the penultimate lap of this race, near approaching the last lap, Verstappen now approaches the last lap of the Grand Prix. Oh, big slide there once again. Tires are really falling off there, but here comes Sainz now. Sainz is now entering into this battle. So, two Ferraris, basically, two Ferrari-powered cars versus the Mercedes, and I don't know who has the best engine, but we're going to defend this like we've never defended before. But Russell, so much straight line speed. He's going to go around the outside. We're going to give him a big squeeze, though, once again. Try to make it fair. Maybe a little bit of contact, just a little bit, but what a defense. Got around him, thankfully, but across the checker flag we go. Verstappen wins the United States Grand Prix by over 12.5 seconds. What a race from Red Bull. Phenomenal stuff coming out of the Red Bull camp. Verstappen has been the most dominant car this whole year. He's been so dominant, but here we are in P2. Could still make a mistake. We don't want to make one. We want to get off the gas just a little bit. Nope, we're still flooring it. Just want to be safe, though, but we want to make this fair as well with Russell, because he could send one down the inside, but it is going to be very crucial. This is going to be P2, and this is going to be a massive podium here, and we're going to cross checker flag, and we're going to get P2 in the United States Grand Prix.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Well, they are very much at one with the car, which is a cliche, but it's true. It's not an easy process, and that work is very much paying off.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
What a weekend at home. I lost my voice there just a little bit from all the commentating. It's been a while since I've done it, but P2, what a race. I mean, I didn't expect a P2. I expected maybe okay, I was expecting points, but I didn't expect a P2. That red flag literally helped us and helped this car. So, man, again, another podium. I think that is that might be the first that might be the first podium in a while. I'm trying to remember the last time we scored a podium. Well, I mean, we won in Belgium earlier in the year. Spoiler alert. But yeah, what a weekend. P2, 20 points, not the max payout that we wanted, but wish we got the max payout. But Valtteri comes across the flag, P8. Stroll did get a point, but this is going to help me and Valtteri in the standings because, well, it's going to help me in the standings because I can actually now have a fight with Lando Norris, but at the same time, this is helping us in the constructors slowly gain on Aston Martin, which is what we need. So let's take a look now. P8 got ahead of Norris. And Alonso's kind of all the way in the distance, so I don't think we'll really get him. It's just a fight for P8 with Valtteri in the mix of it. He's not really a big threat, but he's in the mix. And, yeah, but look at that gap. That gap has closed down to almost 13 points. And McLaren are kind of out of that fight. But, man, what a weekend it has been. What a weekend. There's nothing much more to say than hallelujah. To do it at home is great, and also just to come back and from a low to back up to a high to a podium is what we need. So thank y'all for watching this video. Thank y'all for everything so far you guys have done for this channel, and hopefully we can grind more of this My Team, but we'll see what happens to go into Mexico though. That's all I got in today's video, y'all. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe out there, y'all, and see y'all in the next one.